you will get that mood to play it because you were inspired, because you saw this really awesome epic kind of battle. Then you just want to get into the heart of the battle. You want to be able to control armies and things like that. It's just that feeling, that mood is not so cognitive related, it's not so cognitively emphasized, but then you very much want to be part of that world and win that battle. And you put handicaps and cheats, you're like, you customize the game in such a way that you're stronger than the enemy, so you just want to wipe you just want to wipe them out. You want a pleasure of seeing you succeed, seeing
Yeah.
ourselves succeed. And the sense of satisfaction I get after that is just priceless, because I can see my enemy and then I want to zoom in and see them get whacked. Yeah.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah, but that's basically just the, if you want that really big shot of that feeling of power, you should just use the laboratory mode in Warhammer 2.
Okay. There's this other one that I saw on Steam. Um, uh, Total Battle Simulator or something.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ah,
Realistic Battle
yeah, I
Simulator.
remember
Totally
that.
accurate battle simulator.
Totally accurate battle simulator.
Yeah.
I saw some of this YouTube recordings of that game. My gosh, it's like 30,000 Spartans against
Yeah.
one small group of people.
It's just an
From this.
excuse to break your system just by throwing like millions
Yeah,
and millions of units
you-
there and then just watching people beat the shit out of each other.
exactly. And it took me great pleasure to see how gods wipe out so many, and
Yeah.
how one person like Arnold Schwarzenegger with a minigun and zombies and
It's ridiculous, but
Yeah,
you can't stop watching.
it should be a benchmark to measure how good is your computer. Okay, my computer can be
yeah.
10,000 peasants strong. That's how much entities it can handle before it crashes.
That's pretty good. You must have a
And it
good
goes to
graphic card.
turbo frames.
Yeah, your graphic card is very important. Unfortunately, I can't upgrade my CPU because you know what's happening now in if you go to any digital malls or anything like that, they're going to say they can't upgrade, they can't do upgrades anymore, because if you want to upgrade, you might as well buy the whole package, because
What's
they have
that?
a bad shortage of graphic cards.
All right, yeah, because of all the Bitcoin mining.
Oh, is that what they're being used for?
Yep.
Oh shit, does it really work, this Bitcoin mining thing?
I,
It's
I
not as successful as it
Yeah,
was
you'll never get
before the.
one. It's very hard to get even one, isn't it?
But then again, that's not going to stop people from trying. The thing is, it has such a huge impact on like the local electricity and the environment in general because of like how
Yeah.
much power you're processing.
Yeah, you got to keep it on all the time.
Yeah, and you have to have and people who mine this stuff usually they have like
Yeah.
multiple systems with lots and lots of graphics cards, so
I
you're going to
I
use up a lot of electricity.
I went to Shopee the other day and I came across a whole rig just for mining, Ethereum mining.
Yeah, yeah,
You
it's
know, wow.
it's not that feasible, but
Tell me
people
about
who don't really care about like the impact that they have, they're just going to use it, because for them it's a win-win as long as they can keep their electricity bills covered. Then
it. Okay. Right. Let's do cams now that everyone is here. Here goes. Everybody else, how's it going? Moksh, Jayang, Aishat, Josh.
Going okay.
yeah, I keep hearing the Discord notification from your side. I just had to check whether someone messaged me or not.
Ah, yeah, my Discord. Yeah, my Discord. Yeah, someone liked my last message. Yeah, I thought I was going to use Discord first, but then I just go ahead and use Zoom first because I couldn't make up my mind. But I'll use Zoom first because maybe we'll talk about what we're supposed to talk about today first. And I'm not, this time around I'm not going to bother with slideshows. I'm like F
Right.
slideshows because I'm done with that. It makes me sleepy when I'm talking about it. So I'm just going to talk about some stuff about manual games today. Let's just give me a moment. Let's check the topic list. See whether I'm off topic or. We are in week 3, are we? Week 3 or 4? 4.
Yeah, it's 4.
Yeah, week 4. Great. Yeah, analog and manual. There you go. Analog and manual. Not really my cup of tea, but I still like it. because my kids have outgrown this thing. We used to play Scrabbles, Monopoly, we used to play Boggle, Battleship, Subutio, but outgrowing all this kind of stuff. They're most of the time on the screen. Strange world we live in. All right. Just the other day, Michael was your PD was asking me about Roblox and Kagama, I think Kugama. These two, because he was playing with his son. Two of these online games. Roblox is quite famous. It's kind of like Minecraft, I guess. I've never heard of Kagama or Kugama, whatever that is. But I told him about Crater, and I think might have caught his attention because he was asking if we were going to explore a different platform other than tabletop sim. Well, I guess if prototype creation, tabletop sim is probably the most feasible. Crater is just fully digital and immersive 3D. So, but that takes a bit of learning curve. If you want to use some coding, apply Lua coding in Crater, or if you're just going to use presets or whatever they're given there, you might as well do that for the following semester because you're going to create stuff for real. But then that could be a prototype. But I guess tabletop sim will be a best way to see concepts. So it made me think. I'm not too sure. There's another app on Steam called Construct too, but that's very platformish kind of thing. It's not so much of a 3D or 360 kind of views. You don't get that so much, but you can get that in tabletop sim. So we'll just kind of stick to that for now. Right. So I've got here with me some. I selected two existing games that I have. Then I'm just going to and a couple of card games. Looking into my cabinet right here. Well, yeah. Just one more thing I want to show you. Right. Okay. So I've got this couple of other games that I'm going to show you. These are all manual games. Now they're all my manual games are all over the place. So I've got a bag full of stuff here, and
Those like marbles or something.
they're not the marbles. They're for this board. Yeah, I'm going to show it to you shortly. It's called Go. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, the game of Go, and Go is actually a very ancient thing. Yeah, it's a very old game. So okay, we're just gonna switch over to the other cam. Yeah. Yeah, so this here is yeah, I've got some stuff here, but I won't talk about this one yet. But I guess if you want to see actual strategy, can you guys see this?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So this here is Go. So how do you play Go? Anyone familiar with Go, guys?
I've heard and seen it, and I sort of get the idea, but as into specifics, no, not so much.
Yeah, this is one of the favorites in Japan as well, Korea. So quite a big strategy game.
Yeah, it does has some basis for chess. Yeah, yeah, when first chess came out in India,
Yeah.
and then just branch out from there. It's only when in Europe we got what is deemed as the most current version of chess.
And they have a version of Go in tabletop sim. They do. They have two bags here. Basically they have two bowls, but traditionally speaking, they have two bowls, and then the players start off with putting either one can choose either one color. So you put black here, and then the other one will put somewhere here. Then this guy will. The whole goal of this one is to conquer, basically to trap each other's pieces, and then once you're trapped, you remove the piece. Simple as that. Main objective. So you go here, then this guy will probably go there. Then this guy blocks this guy's movement. Then this guy tries to keep moving. He wants to go take these two, but this guy plays his strategy really well. He puts one over there. Then this guy keeps like tries to move something here, but then he puts this one here. And I believe when you're conquered, oh no, you're not conquered just yet. So then the black would see he's trying to escape. Then maybe he'll put one piece over there. So then once you have you're blocked, this guy, you can remove this, something like that. So that's how kind of like the game goes, and you'll go all over the board, all over. You'll fill up. You'll look really nice and black and white. But this is pretty. But if you really understand this is very grid-like. Now, most board games, I think strategy. If strategy is important, then I guess the whole idea of grid is obviously very important. So, what's the significance of this? I'm no expert in this, but I think there is a significant. I think this one it depends on the rule of the game or what kind of rule you want to implement in this game. So a grid is be a good basis to start, whatever the case. And that's what helped me think about how to create a strategy game or create some kind of world in terms of world building, trying to see territories. Okay. So trying to understand the territories or places where you want to take over. Okay. Or the term territories need to be defined in a certain way according to your rule book or according to the concept of the game. So that's the thing that draws me into the world building mode in terms of this. Like when I look at a grid, what I can see is I'm able to measure or quantify the number of spaces or quantify number of intersections. I could measure and quantify sections. So I can choose sections, I can choose larger sections. I can look at radius, okay? So there are measurement and quantification possibilities when you see on a grid. If there's no grid, then I guess the approach to measuring and quantifying achievement points or acquired, I would say what you acquisition on a game board will be very different. So that's why some games do not require grid, some games require grid, because if quantifying territory is not the thing that you're focusing on, then what are you quantifying? Big question mark. So that's the thing about analog games. What do you want to quantify? There's one golden question. So grid is one thing. Now this is very basic. Grids become a very important thing. Now, what if you don't really have a grid and you don't really want to quantify, okay? But instead of quantifying, what you have is, it's away. Then what you have is, like, remember last time, Carter, was it Carter, you and Josh, you guys were making the football game? So you have a goalpost instead. Now, I know this net is loose. I didn't fix the net. I have everything was like kind of dismantled, but I kept the Subbuteo back in the box. This is a Euro 95, Euro 96 version product. So of course, today's newer products look much more slick. But these are some of the players. Now remember, the other day you were showing how the players move, and you need to decide, how the players. I mean, look at this piece. The players that you have had flat, much more flat thing, but this one has a bit of a bowl. The design of these pieces, they have a bit of a bowl here. The reason is you could chip the ball very easily. So you could chip the ball a lot more easily with this. Yeah. So that's the whole point of this. So for example, if you put this guy here, then something something like that. Yeah. So you could do it this way, or you could do it that way. So depends on how you want to play it. Yeah, but I think if I'm not mistaken, we were doing it this way. So flicking the players, yeah. And the ball is quite large. Notice the movement is much more, it moves a lot easily. So makes the gameplay a lot more fluid. But what is going on with quantifying? What are we measuring here? Of course, if this was a football field and this guy was over here, this guy was over here, then in Subbuteo, it's really about for each turn, you're going to sort of like use your playbook and reposition the players each turn, and then kick the ball, then reposition the players each turn, kick the ball, reposition the players. Or another approach is how. So what are you quantifying? Is it the positioning part you're quantifying? How many positions? What are you analyzing? So quantifying or analyzing these things, it also goes hand in hand with the way these pieces are designed, because if you're able to position and kick the ball, then the design is sound, because it makes it easy for you to not put too much emphasis or too much worry about on how the game is going to function, because the pieces are well selected or the pieces are well designed. So everything's sort of connected. Everything is interconnected here. So what are you quantifying? Of course, the rule of the game, football, is very obvious. You kick the ball here and you score. Yeah. But if you're going to move about, how many positions, how many things you want to analyze at this point? Maybe this person is a striker. This is a defender. Yeah. So put this one, and when it comes to here, will the ball go to the defender? And then when it comes to that guy's turn, he kicks the ball to another player. So this is something that you got to decide. So in terms of tabletop sim, you got to decide whether you want to use this kind of ball or you want to use a flat, round thing. Yeah. So this one is a good example of there's no grid, but it's a football field. Yeah. So another way to look at another form of grid is using tiles. This game has been quite interesting. Let me just I've got this. This one is called Cluedo. Yeah. So Cluedo is really good. I really like Cluedo because look at this rule book. The rule book looks so interesting. It looks like a magazine. Yeah. I love this rule book. Nice piece of very simple booklet. Full color, got everything.
It actually looks interesting to read instead of.
It does, yeah. It doesn't overwhelm you with text. You notice that? It doesn't. Yeah. It's got the right headlines. It's really, really nice, and I think well thought through. And they must have got tons of feedback before they even published something like this. And the rules are not too complex. They're what is categorized in red could be the main thing that happens into the game. So what happens in Cluedo now in terms of the board itself? You've got tiles, but some Cluedo games, they have tiles that are separate, but this one has fold outs like this. It folds out into a large board. Let's see how this looks like. So let's move this aside. So you've got let's fold this out. Oh no. Teeny bit, a little bit here. Okay. Not my printer here. Okay, there you go. So you've got this whole board, and you've got wait, this is kind of upside down. Oh yeah, never mind. So you got the guest house, you got a dining room, you got a kitchen, yeah, you got the patio, you got a spa, theater, living room, observatory, hall. So all these possible locations a murder took place. I don't know whether it's too glaring for you. Yeah, I think maybe just too much. Yeah, kind of like that. So yeah, guys can see these, yeah. So anyway, so yeah, that's how it looks like. So now, how do you know which murder took place? So you have to position the murder weapons at the strategic locations. You got to put murder weapons at strategic locations. There's the yeah, so you do that, and then you have clues. You got clues over here, clues over here, here, so you got tokens. You got tokens that points out to specific clues. Kind of look like this with little question marks in it, and you got weapons like this little gun like this, so you got something like this that points as weapons. So these then you have clues right here. So what happens is once you come to a clue, there are cards that refers to the clues, and you also have like little notes. It's kind of glaring here. The terrible cheap webcam. Okay, so you got a real note, so you can tick off, and you'll be the detective when you're investigating. You're just gonna when you find certain things, you tick them off, and you have cards, these are all clue cards. So whenever you pick a clue card, you have information. Yeah, you have information. You got all this information. Yeah, so basically putting the weapons on this is based on specific cards. If you deal the card, then you use the card for two purposes. One, the cards to be as clues. One is the card that gives you the random positioning of items like murder weapons and things like that. And you also have character cards, and location cards, like kitchen, the character themselves. So character cards kind of look like this. Yeah, there's the person's face in there. And location cards, you have location cards that looks kind of like, when you say kitchen, or I can't all mixed up here. Yeah, like living room, for example. Yeah, so if you say living room, then yeah, you gotta do deductive logic and things like that. So, and then you have event cards and things like that. So you have that, and then you have the finally, something you will never know. Here is the secret envelope. And in this case, the secret envelope, you put 3 of each: weapons, location, and person. One random, and nobody will know where that location is, who that person is, and what weapon was it. All inside this envelope, and this will be placed inside the box, and nobody will know. When we pick it, so we won't look at it. So it's our job to find out who the killer is. So that's why it's interesting about this game. And I really absolutely love playing this with my family or close friends. Yeah. So there's so much to do, so much to talk about, so much to debate, and you can make accusations when two players are in the same room. Okay, then hold on. When two players are actually in the same room, then you can actually make an accusation. If your accusation is wrong, then well, basically you need to use your note and tick it off and something like that. Now, if you notice that this whole board, right, back to the grid system, back to quantifying movements or quantifying gameplay achievements, how there are several I would say events or several situations that you have to consider to become requirements or criteria to be able to achieve certain things. For example, getting your suspicions correct, getting your suspicions wrong. In this case, if you get something wrong, get something correct, it might be an advantage. So having that scorecard or that little notepad makes you quantify specific things that is based on conversation, based on deductive logic, which is not so tangible. But when you see here, the tangible aspects is where you're at. You're visually being able to identify what you are seeing through the location itself. So which means to make this clearer, it's good to have a map or some kind of chart to be able to see what happens and have subroutines, yes, no situation. It's kind of like you planning an open world RPG where if you say yes, what happens? If you say no, what happens? Kind of thing like that. So, and along the way, you find items, you find clues. And what is interesting here is the player who's playing this game, they can look at real tangible items in the board, which makes for the excitement in terms of the design. And you can see some vertical elements, and these vertical elements bring the board to life. So it's not just a flat 2D thing. And that's a great advantage for tabletop sim. But a good way to see it is by actually playing a manual game by yourself. And that's incredible. Now, let's just say, right, you want to create your own. Now, I tried to create my own. I don't have much of a vertical elements on it, like anything that's layered, or I don't have anything fancy. But what I do have are things which I made up. Okay, let me show you that. And if only I had more time, I think I'm still very interested to make my own manual games. But it's hard to find players to play it unless you join a group, like in Facebook, some kind of like I joined that group, Tabletop Designers of Malaysia group, where they all create manual games over there. So I have this one. This is a bit massive. It's a little massive. I'm going to move the camera back a little bit. Take a peek. Look on the floor. Okay, never mind. Okay, here you go. So now you have this. I have this thing that I created, and again, this is based on Sid Meier. I was inspired by Sid Meier a lot, and what I did was also a four faction colony game. Haha, Moksha. close to home, isn't it? So you also doing something. Your group, I think, is doing the four faction thing. So I love four faction games or multi-faction, versus kind of games. I like that. So this is one of the things I create. I actually use this several times for team building and training, even, and yeah, the response was quite varied, but most of them ended up fighting with each other, arguing. So what happens here is I use a grid system to mark my territory. Yeah, you can see. And what I'm quantifying here is the amount of resources that you have. So the resources right here, okay, the resources are limited. Yeah. So how do I know they're limited? So I've got separate cards, faction cards, which I'm not going to bother taking out somewhere in my cabinet. But each faction cards will tell you what their needs are. So I have the summary right here. I just move this a little bit. Now, if you could see this, hope you could see this bit here. Now you can see each faction has a specific need. Now this is manual. Now let's say in your tabletop sim, you might probably want to put some information on the board itself. So, for example, Gaia's children over here, okay, they need more vegetation and water because they have less water in this territory, which means that this location has information. So I could put there are specific areas where some of these minerals and some of these resources would be located. So all these are laminated. They're laminated cards. You know, I use Illustrator to use some free images and stuff like that, and printed them and laminated it. So yeah, so I actually played this game. So now they just have to try to negotiate with the other one and try to coexist, but trying to get trade resources from each other. But you know, there is a shortage of resource, and each faction have a specific ideal. They have their own ideals, and if they want, when they're trading, they want each faction to accept some of their ideals, which that comes for problem. So the main selling point of this game is being able to work with another faction which is totally different. So I use this in team building and creative workshops to illustrate working with different people groups, you know. So that seemed to work out pretty well, that part. But when it comes to, I realized they spend a lot of time negotiating for resources. And every 30 minutes, the game master will announce some kind of thing that will heat up the moment a little bit more. So yeah, so this is the other one. So this is the one that I actually invented. Basically, it's kind of like still in development at this point, but I'm also using I've also created the Design and Conquer board. Yeah, the Design and Conquer board. This is not going to be easy to take off, but hang on. Yeah, so I've got stuff under my table, as you can see. My room is a disaster area, really. So yeah. This is the Design Conquer board. Actually, it's supposed to be empty. Actually, there's two pieces. If I combine it, it's one massive piece. And you can see that I've used this in the previous game studies class. No, I actually after the game studies class, I cleaned it and I used it for a foundation class. As you can see, they scribbled it very, very well. You can see territories they conquered. Yeah, they see territory. Also, it's kind of like conquering territories, but you can see how they really had fun. You know, I still haven't rubbed it off yet. So it's also laminated. So this board can be used in many ways. And I've used this board without, I've used with some tokens. I have lots of tokens I created to be used on this board. And also using the grid system. I've not explored the hex system just yet, but a lot of it is the typical grid system, and the kind of tokens that I use, well, I didn't have to spend. You see, I'm using all boxes, all packaging boxes, and you can see I cannibalize and I reuse some parts from I reuse some parts from other things. I also used cardboards. I painted them blue, red. My friend gave me a present. He bought me some dices, like 8 dices, and I'm using those. I found this in Genting Highlands. When I went up there, I saw this shop selling some weird keychains that has some fabulous details on it. I thought this would be great for game tokens. So I thought, yeah, and they were very cheap. So I just thought, what the heck, I'm just gonna buy it. So I've got lots of tokens here that I could use for this game. So Design and Conquer game is really you choosing between designing and conquering. And I've also bought, decided to buy them. This one is not easy to create on your own. Stakes, I wish we could play this. If we were having face-to-face, I swear we would be playing this. So you can give some feedback. Ice cream sticks and whatever. So lots of stuff which can be used to construct and design. And let's just see, we always hope that this will never be used. So I've got soldiers in case they choose war. Now this is the part that I use a little inspiration from Risk, but not quite. It's just the Silver Army, obviously the strongest army and the most expensive army. And I've got the cheapest army is the Green Army. This one, yeah, this is kind of like medium cheap. This one is a little second to the silver, in terms of cost. So you can go to war, but it will cost you all your designs. So it's either you sell off your designs for in exchange for armies, or you continue designing, things like that. So Hourglass, which I took this from the Boggle board, which I'm going to put it back. So yeah. So you could, but the catch, what I'm trying to say here is the fact that I got war tokens, the fact that I got pieces like this, which means there's some things there that can be quantifiable. So you're going to think about quantifiable aspects and make that really interesting. And sometimes you can make it either easy to achieve or not so easy to achieve. Yeah. So you can decide. I've got another box full of materials for Design and Conquer. So Design and Conquer is another prototype of mine, which in development. And I think I'm definitely going to get back right to it. I just got myself from a really cheap shop some additional soldier toys, which I think is so underrated. I think these soldier toys so I think there's so much use for this. I thought I want to spray paint gold or something. For this wash it. Yeah, they're simple. They're really cheap. They're just like cheap. They use some simple what do you call it, molds to do this. But we often take this for granted. We thought, well, El Cheapo stuff, whatever. But there's so much you can do with this. So I thought, yeah, I finished it. Check out this aircraft carrier. Check it out. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I actually bought soldier toys. And don't judge, okay? I'm not playing with these things. I mean, not like a kid. I'm just trying to, have my own Total War game. No, I'm just kidding. So you could do that. So playing with tokens and making an excuse for using tokens is another motivation to be able to create something that you could quantify, especially when you want to conquer territories or you want to obtain or acquire resources or acquire stuff. And some of these are tied into intangible aspect, intangible achievement elements. Like, for example, in Crudo, you want to know information. Information is not tangible. In Design and Conquer, the aspects of ideas is not tangible. Okay, timing for design is not tangible, and if you do it within the time, you get something, things like that. So there, and how there's some intangible achievement elements, and there's like quantified elements which could also lead to achievements. So you got to plan what are the achievements in between, what you want to quantify, what are the intangible things that you think the players can gain, which will make it so much more attractive. So manual games are so interesting. One thing, it can always be super duper interesting if you play with somebody. If you're not going to play with someone, if no one's going to play with you on this, you're going to be forever alone. you need people to play with. You can't get away from the fact that games are social things, and that is another thing. Games are pretty much social things, guys. They are social things, and we need people to be able to play with each other. Did that come out right? I mean, yeah, play with each other, really. Yeah, you need to play with one another instead of fighting with one another. I mean, isn't that the better alternative? So, yeah. You guys still there? Did I bore you to death?
No, we're still here.
Yeah. So what did you think of what I showed you guys? I mean, I'm not a full-time board gamer or like a professional board gamer or something, but I think I've grown up with board games, well, to a certain degree. I've had students, right? I mean, I remember one student in my past game studies class. Her mom loves board games. She buys board games from China. She's got tons of collections of board games at home, and they always play board games. And if I can find her blog, I got to find her blog somewhere. If I do find it, I'll share it. She was telling me, I mean, I was talking about board game, and she was actually telling us what those board games were and everything. I'm like, wow. So she's so familiar with them. And yeah, some people are very much into those. But I think it's not the board games or the products here is the main highlight. I think it's really about people. And I think that's where you come in, you as designers, making such observations, trying to understand people, what people want, and especially now during this pandemic, what do they really want? What do they really need? If they're going to play your game, why? Why would they want to? What do you want them to achieve, and how are they going to feel good achieving it? If on digital games, of course, can do tons of stuff which board games can't. I mean, that's the whole point of digital game. But if in digital game I get so much satisfaction beheading someone and beheading a demon, or having flames come out of my hands and electricity, whatever, you can have unlimited. There's so much suspension of disbelief in there. You have unlimited ammo and things like that. But in the real board game, wow, what about that can give the same excitement as that same feeling of achievement like how you have it in digital games? Because whatever that you see in digital games, it's like, I would say, it's like an enhancement of the same feeling that you have in the board game. You want to achieve something, and when you achieve it, you have this sense of pride. It's the same as you being able to get 3 of the identical cards in Monopoly, and you're like, yes, I can build my house, I've got hotel, I feel good about myself. Kind of good feeling, the feel good thing. Yeah. And that's why I don't like to play Monopoly the computer game Monopoly is not as fun. For some reason, the Monopoly board game seems to outshine everything else, even digital. They have different versions of it now with different transaction methods. Now you have credit card transactions in there. You can load in your cash in a card and pay with a card and things like that. Yeah, there's so many different things that's going on, and that's why um, it's worth to understand what people really want to achieve. So you have to do some reading. I'll say referencing. Now, I'm not saying reading as in reading like a law book. No, just look at some journals. Look at titles that's relevant. You don't have to read every title. Look at all the titles that's available in the Game Studies journal and say like, now that's interesting. That's very much along my thing. It's about gameplay. Okay, let's just bring that up and let's see what he has to say about gameplay. And many of them have information that quantifiable data. That means they have done lots of studies. They've done surveys. They've done playthroughs. All these things. See, the difference between you and the conventional gamer is that you, as a designer, when you are playing games, you are translating those into quantifiable data. That means observational data, quantifiable data, analytical data. You translating all that into tables of you being able to basically you're scientifically trying to list things down, trying to numerically list down number of times these occurrences, number of times of feel good, number of achievements, aspects of the leaderboard, things like that. So you basically making observations into these aspects of the game. So but manual games give you a lot more of that opportunity because they're you can touch and feel them. Yeah, so you could and you're able to ask questions like, what if I move this piece over here, what if I move this piece over there? So yeah, and that's why Tabletop Sim has so much possibilities because of the physics, because of the programming of that particular game app, and it's so it follows real physics. They'll look like real items in there, and you can actually do stuff very much close, except that you're using a mouse. I don't know whether they have a VR mode at this point. No, I don't think so. But at some point, if you have VR mode, can you imagine the possibilities? So yeah. So what did we talk about? Grid system. We talk about grid system, non-grid system, quantifiable elements in manual games. Like, what? How do you quantify achievement? When do you want achievements? Yeah. Quantifying territories. Oh, I tell you, I can't list. There's no exhaustive list. It's non-exhaustive. You figure that out. What is quantifiable in there? So you got the other thing is non-tangible things, non-tangible aspects of the game, non-tangible achievement elements like you think things like emotions, emotions, what you feel about it, what players would feel about it, then information, knowledge gathering, things like that. Yeah, things that you can't quantify, but it's there. You only can quantify the number of occurrences. So think about those things. And there are other aspects too, in non-tangible things, but this can be also tangible, like conflict. If yours is about war, conflict. Rules of engagement areas. If you have a grid, engagement radiuses. So that way you can identify your pieces really well. And I think a good place to start is first identifying your piece. Because once you do everything at once, it's going to be very, very confusing. So if you have your pieces identified, first, I have an archer, or maybe a revolver, guy with a revolver, 3 grid radius. So 3 grid radius. Then a guy with a rifle, 10 grid radius. Then a guy with an automatic gun, uh, similar, about 10 grid radius or 11 grid radius. Then you have somebody with a bazooka, 20 grid radius. Then you have someone with a tank, wow, 40 grid radius. So you have different pieces with different radiuses, but when you scale down those radiuses in a specific scaling system on the board, then you can see, you can plan your grid and plan your engagement much, much better. And you can estimate the size of the board because you would want enough space for them to be able to use their weapons, because in that game, you got to use those weapons. So you got to estimate how many, and if you have these 5 guys with weapons, and you've got the opposition you must level the playing field for the opposition. There you go. But understanding your pieces, understanding how you're going to quantify these things will make it so much more easier for you to plan how your board is going to play a very important role in the gameplay. So then test your gameplay after that. Start small, start simple, then put them there, just move them. Okay, let's start with a race. I'm going to move, get the flag over there. Just put a flag there. Each turn, let's go one square. Okay, I reached the flag so fast. Oh, something is wrong, because it's very unfair. You move it that way. I could also reach the flag easily. Okay, let's try that again. I move it forward. Move that one forward. Hey, I'm moving my rifle guy. You moving a revolver guy. I got a longer range. So when you're at that square, you're dead. So I got the flag now. So there you go. So now the main thing of the gameplay is, we call it rules of engagement. This gameplay is all about rules of engagement. I move all these pieces, and everybody has a range. How are you going to solve the problem? So it's like problem solving, You put the thing that you need to solve right there on the board, and then you got to solve it. And this is the dilemma. So you create also dilemmas, a massive problem, or one key significant problem that you're going to implement in your game, where you have every player to think, this is basically what I need to do. So when somebody were to ask you, okay, what are you supposed to do in this game? Well, I'm supposed to do this. They can, if they can give you one straight answer, then obviously your game is obviously going to be quite easy to understand, and very likely interesting, because you know what you need to do. But the catch is this: you may know what you need to do, but how are you going to do it? That's the interesting bit. So yeah, so I think that's basically we've got a lot to talk about basically, but I think you guys get the gist of it. I hope. Got any questions? Anything you want to discuss?
Not particularly at the moment, for me at least, because we're still in the process of figuring out our own gameplay mechanics for the tabletop thing.
Cool. Let's talk about your stuff then. Your turn to talk. Let's see. You guys want to share screen or anything, or do you want to? I shouldn't. I should have stopped sharing earlier on. Okay, never mind. All right, you guys. How are your? I know it's been a pretty hectic week since last Thursday. I suppose we can talk about this coming Thursday. You want to talk about it more this coming Thursday, guys?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Because I think we'll have like somebody
Yeah,
ready by then.
yeah. Because it's kind of too short of a time between Thursday and now. So we'll talk about this more on Thursday about your progress, or if you want to share some of your latest, your findings and development. Yeah. Okay. But apart from that, was everything I said making sense to you guys?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot to think about, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I guess one way to figure out is play. Just play.
Yeah, I mean, essentially.
It's the easiest subject in this degree. Easiest. And I got a secret for you. It's easiest to score too. Seriously, it's easy to score. Yeah, very easy to score. Just have to deliver it, and you will score. So I'm pretty sure you will.
I hope you don't tell that to everyone because people might start just taking it easy.
No. Don't say that to anyone. You guys don't go around telling that, but it is a lot easier to score if you have good development. That's all I needed.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's not about aesthetics. But aesthetics is an added, for example, like without aesthetics, like let's say a B plus with no aesthetics, but
Yeah.
very strong concept, possible. But let's say with strong concepts and fantastic aesthetics, even if it's just a prototype, and really draws you emotionally, the whole package. Okay,
Right.
no issues getting an A with that one. So that's examples. Just an example. I'm not saying that's my guarantee or anything, but
Yeah.
just an example. So, which I think you guys can really do it. So, but plan it out, and if you do have, and I think you guys need to just have a lot of conversations with each other and play with each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, play play. Take some time to play, guys. I know you have a lot of assignments, but take some time to play, therapy time. And every time you play a game, use it as data.
Yeah, definitely.
It's kind of like I know I don't always do it. That's the reason, one of the reasons why I want to stream games, because I want to create my own personal diary kind of thing, like an online game diary. Like if I'm playing, then I have a record of the games I play. Sometimes I look back because I have some streams in because I've got a game page in FB as well. So I've got a few games there, and I've got some highlights in
I actually tuned
Twitch.
into one of your live streams like a few semesters back just because I saw it like in a suggested videos thing. You were playing Monster Hunter and you were doing like a Q&A session, and I'm like, oh, that's one of my future lecturers.
Yes.
Why is he here?
Yeah, but yeah, I was very new with it. Yeah, I'm
It
very
was a fun watch.
So anyway, yeah. So kind of like when I look back at those, and I'm like, wow, it brings me back. It brings me back at the time where I'm actually feeling something when I was playing that game. I was actually, it's kind of like you want timeout, and I want to play a game now because of this timeout.
Yeah.
Because I can. It's not because I'm forced to do it or anything, because I can. So you have the power to do it. So I thought, yeah, I'll do it, and I know why I'm going to do it, because I need it. I need a fix, or I need
Yeah.
I need a timeout. I need a place which is unreal, because reality is killing me emotionally. It's really affecting me. But I want to be in this place where I could see possibilities, where I can fight back reality.
Mm.
See myself put myself in the position where I can do it. So maybe,
Yeah.
you all could have that reflective process, that so you can journal that for yourselves. Has anyone here got started any game reviews, anything? How's it going?
Well, I did record some of mine, but I haven't edited it as of yet.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm thinking of just like record some footage and then just put in the text caption at the bottom as well.
Right. Nice.
Do we need to have a voiceover?
It would be better.
Okay.
It would be better to have a voiceover.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Same with me. I have like a few clips from two
Excellent.
different games right now. I just need to like stitch them together and figure out how to like order the video.
Yeah, excellent work. Everybody else, anyone else got started with it?
Not yet.
Okay.
They're all due in week 7, right?
Yeah, I guess I want to get the exercises out of the way.
Okay,
So
that's fine.
yeah, but it will do you some good. I'm sure you know, like what we just talked about. You know, a lot of observation. You know,
Yeah.
analysis. So yeah, always consider who you are as a person. Look back at your game history presentation. I think that's really interesting, actually.
Mhm.
Look back at that. I mean, you can think about who you are as a graduate or as an undergraduate. You know, you are in Taylor's University. You know, who are you in this game world now? You know,
Yeah.
how do you visualize yourself? You know, that sort of thing. It helps. You know, to think in a concept.
Yeah.
So yeah, all right. I don't want to blabber too much. Probably going to let you go soon, but yeah, Q&A time. Anyone else? Anyone want to bring up anything? Okay. Okay. I'm going to call out names right now. Eti, you're good?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Excellent. Usually I call out names, right? So I'll give it like 10 seconds to know whether you're sleeping, not sleeping. Okay. Yaman and Tengku, yep. I've been hearing your voices. Awesome. Cool. Carter,
Sir,
you're doing good? Yeah.
actually, I got a question. But
Yeah, sure.
I
Ask
hope you
away.
don't mind. If let's
Yeah,
say
don't
you
mind.
want to talk again about how to do the game review.
Right. Okay. Okay. What is your favorite game, Carter?
Like console game,
Yeah, anything. Just name one.
in name one, like God of War. Lor.
God of War. Excellent.
Yeah,
So,
but very long time ago. Long time.
okay. If now you're playing anything like now, most recent, which you always play all the time, that game?
Not much actually because due to study.
Yeah.
In degree
Okay.
program, so kind of hard to find a free time to play the
To
game.
play. Yeah. Okay. If it's not computer game, do you play like what? Basketball or anything like that? Any other kind of things? Like,
Basketball or maybe a mobile game.
there you go. A mobile game.
Mobile game is actually a very interesting topic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
actually,
okay.
because mobile like easy
Yeah.
carry.
Yeah, correct.
Play
You're right.
anyway.
You're absolutely right. Talk about that mobile game. Why do you play that mobile game? Do you play it in between assignments? Ask yourself this. So when you're making that review that. Don't just review the game itself. Explain in the review why you
I
play this
see.
mobile game. Why do you play this mobile game? And in between the assignment or after the project, say if you're not seeing your friends, you just bored, you're bored to heck, you know, you just open this mobile game and play. And what are you feeling when you're playing? Are you thinking about other things while you're playing with this game, or are you actually really concentrating playing this game? After playing this game, what do you feel? Before game playing, what do you feel? You know, are you worried about other things? Are you having concerns about your assignment? How is your how is your concern about your assignment? Is it connected to the game that you're playing, or is it just no connection? You just want to let off steam. You know, it can be as simple as like I play mobile games when for example, I play more mobile games, especially when I'm waiting in queues. In the dentist, oh gosh, so long. I'll play a mobile game. I'm forced to do it because I hate queues.
Same, sir. You are not alone.
Yeah, I hate to queue up. So I have to open it. I cannot do that. Otherwise, I will have no patience. So for me, it's one way for me to makes my mind busy, so that I stop focusing on my irritation. Yeah, something like that. If I'm driving, I play a different kind of game. And I'm driving, right? I don't play mobile game. I can't play mobile game when I'm driving, but because traffic jam or anything like that, you know what I do? I pretend I start to I really do it, but of course I don't make sounds. I don't people might think I'm crazy, but I look around. I tell myself, all right, like I pretend I'm in an RPG world. Really, I really pretend because I'm in my little shuttlecraft. Now I have to upgrade my shuttlecraft. Now I must, and I see too much asteroids and very heavy traffic here. So I something like that. And I
Anything to entertain yourself, right?
yeah, I entertain myself, and it's a kind of game I play with my own self. For me to forget the irritating thing about the traffic jam.
Yeah.
So the games have huge effect on the human being, Carter. Very, very big effect psychologically, mentally. It actually helps. So review that. Review your mobile game. Don't just talk about the game alone. Talk about how the game connects with you.
See, how many game we should review?
I think
Minimum is 5, right?
yeah, 5.
5, I see.
Yeah, 5. Just 5. Because if it represents what 5. 5 reviews means you fulfill all 5 exercises.
Cool.
Each exercise you don't have to be so repetitive. Like one game you talk about how special it is to you, and then next time you review a game, maybe something more specific. Maybe this time you want to review the amazing thing, how the game was designed. Yeah.
How the game design.
How the game was designed. Another version of game review is like why players like to play games with interesting characters. Things like that. So you can so many things you can look into the games, like how about why boys like this game, why girls like this game. You can do this kind of review. You can also review a new game that somebody created, and you can do that as well. So
You could compare it with let's say if you like a mobile game, you could compare it with console games that you've played before, and then see how they appeal to you. Like you can compare how they appeal to you. Like for example, Carter, you said you like a mobile game, right? Is it like a gacha game?
Not really, like adventure game.
Okay, so you can talk about how since gacha games are usually mobile and the one you're playing isn't a gacha game, you can compare between those two as well, because most mobile games are supposed to be gacha games.
I see.
Because that's where the appeal comes in.
I see. Good idea.
you got a clearer picture now, Carter?
Yeah, I get the gist already.
Nice one. Good. Jayang, you okay there? Hey, Jayang.
Yes, sir.
You all right?
Yeah, all right.
You anything you're not clear about, you want to ask?
No.
All right. Are you all right? You don't sound very happy.
Huh?
Okay, I'm just kidding. Hey, Josh. Hello. How's it going, man?
I'm good. I just played a game at the afternoon just to relax for.
Yeah, chill out. Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions? Anything?
Can we use like our past videos? Like before I think I played some of my games I record by accident. So could I use those games as to review it or something? I don't know.
Well, I wish I could say yes, Josh. But to be fair for everyone.
I know, of
fresh
course.
recording, yeah. I think do a fresh new one.
Yeah. So we just have to like show how the game is played and why we enjoyed it so much, right? Just like a simple gameplay of it can
Yeah, everything I said earlier with Carter kind of applies. Yep, yep. You should watch the recording again. I explain a whole lot of things.
Yeah, no, I just want to clarify
Yeah.
that's all. That's all.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
There's basically the gist of it, but you can stagger your 5 game reviews to different qualities of the game or different aspects, but make it through your lenses, Josh. Through your
Okay.
lenses, yeah.
Alright.
Your keen observation, things that got you curious,
Mm.
yeah. So
Yeah, I wrote a few points of each of my games, but I just haven't recorded
Yeah.
videos of how.
your previous recording, if you have findings from your previous recording, can use those findings as something that you want to see if you can find those things again in today's game. So let's say if you reviewed those in like many years back, so what if now? Has anything changed since then? So you could talk about things like that.
Alright.
Hmm.
Alright. Yep. Thank you.
Welcome. Moksh, you okay? All good?
Yes, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aisha?
Yeah, hi.
Hi. Oh my gosh. What's wrong with you? Are you all right?
No,
Oh no. Don't sound so good.
yeah,
What happened to your throat?
I don't feel so well.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
All right. Chill then. Have a good rest, but no question, I suppose. Okay. So to all 9 of you, great session. Next week we're going to talk about something else. Next week's let's see, what do we got next week? What's our topic next week? Is yeah, if you want the lecture session to be more entertaining than this, let me know. Yeah, if you want me I try to get my Twitch up and running, so I'll let you know. It's just a chill out place, okay? No pressure. Wait, okay. Okay, next week is, yeah, we're going to go towards serious games next week. So serious and digital games next week. So we're going to talk about serious games. I'm going to be I'll pick 1 or 2 games and we're probably going to talk more about it with a lot of demos. So there you go.
By serious games, you mean like
Serious games. Serious, like serious, not smiling. Serious. No, I'm just kidding. Serious game as in serious strategy games or
right? Okay.
yeah, like have you heard of the game called Democracy?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of entertaining, but yet it's got a serious application of an algorithm right there.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, then you got other forms of serious games can also be educational games with outcomes that can actually be used.
Right. Oh, that's what you mean. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, gamification is applied system where you can gamify anything. So serious games can be that, but non-serious can also be part of the gamified process. So we'll talk about serious games and digital games next week. So yeah. All right, guys. If there's no questions, then pleasure having you on board today. I'll see you this Thursday. Thursday, we look forward to seeing you guys on tabletop and we'll see what new developments you got.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you,
All
sir.
right.
Thank you.
sir.
Peace.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you,
Take care.
Bye.
Stay safe. Bye.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Welcome.